It was supposed to be an unforgettable weekend in the woods. 6 friends, Alex, Sarah, Jason, Emily, Lisa, and Mark, planned their annual camping trip to a remote forest, far from the city's noise and stress. They had been friends since childhood, their bond forged through years of shared adventures, laughter, and challenges. They set out early one Friday morning, hiking deep into the forest. The trail was long and winding, but the group was in high spirits. The forest, with its towering trees and thick underbrush, felt like a world apart. After hours of trekking, they found the perfect spot, a clearing by a tranquil lake, surrounded by lush greenery. They set up their camp, pitched tents, and gathered around a crackling fire as the sun dipped below the horizon. As dusk fell, the group settled in for the night. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the gentle lapping of the lake's water. They roasted marshmallows, shared stories from their lives, and reminisced about past camping trips. Laughter echoed through the forest, mingling with the sounds of nocturnal creatures awakening. Around midnight, Mark stood up, stretching his legs. "I'm going for a little walk," he announced. The group teased him, reminding him that wandering alone in the dark might not be the best idea. But Mark, ever the adventurer, shrugged off their concerns. "I'll be back soon," he promised, disappearing into the shadows. Minutes turned into hours, and Mark had not returned. Concern replaced the group's light-hearted banter. They called out his name, their voices growing increasingly anxious. Alex, trying to calm the group, suggested they search for him. Flashlights in hand, they ventured into the darkness, their beams cutting through the inky blackness. Despite their extensive search, there was no sign of Mark. Their shouts were met with nothing but the eerie silence of the forest. The friends returned to the campsite, their worry escalating. They decided to wait until morning before taking further action, hoping Mark would appear with some wild story of his midnight adventure. Morning dawned, and there was still no sign of Mark. Panic set in. The group contacted the authorities, and soon, the forest buzzed with search and rescue teams. Helicopters hovered overhead, scanning the dense canopy, while officers and volunteers combed through the woods. Bloodhounds picked up Mark's scent near the campsite, but it vanished abruptly deeper into the forest. Hours turned into days, and days into weeks. Despite the exhaustive search, Mark had seemingly disappeared without a trace. The once tight-knit group was now overshadowed by a profound sense of loss and guilt. The forest, which had once felt like a sanctuary, now loomed as a place of nightmares. As the official search wound down, whispers of paranormal occurrences began to circulate among the locals. Campers who visited the area reported hearing disembodied cries for help, resembling Mark's voice. Some claimed to have seen a gaunt figure, much like Mark, wandering aimlessly through the trees, only to vanish into thin air. These stories reached the group, fueling a mix of hope and fear. Could Mark still be alive, trapped in some spectral form? Or was there something more sinister at play? The legend of Mark's disappearance began to grow, deterring visitors and leaving the forest more isolated than ever. 3 years later, Alex and Sarah, burdened by the unresolved fate of their friend, decided to return to the forest. They believed there was more to discover, something everyone had missed. With new equipment and a resolve forged by years of questions, they ventured back to the campsite. The forest felt different, darker, more foreboding. As they navigated the familiar trails, memories of happier times clashed with the grim task ahead. That night, sitting by the fire, they heard faint whispers echoing through the trees. Sarah swore she heard Mark's voice, while Alex felt a presence watching them from the shadows. Determined to uncover the truth, Alex and Sarah ventured deeper into the forest the next day. Guided by an inexplicable intuition, they arrived at a hidden clearing they had never seen before. In the center stood an ancient stone circle, covered in moss and mysterious symbols. As they investigated, they found fragments of Mark's belongings, a torn backpack strap, a flashlight, and strange artifacts that seemed to be offerings. As dusk approached, the whispers grew louder, leading them to the entrance of a cave obscured by vines. Inside, the air was thick with moisture and the scent of decay. More signs of mark, a shoe, a cap, suggested he had sought refuge there. The cave walls bore intricate markings hinting at dark rituals, sacrifices to appease unknown entities. Inside the cave, amidst eerie silence, a shadowy figure appeared, an ethereal manifestation of Mark. Trapped and tormented, Mark's spirit conveyed through fragmented whispers and gestures that he had been lured by something malevolent, drawn deeper into the forest until he could no longer escape. Alex and Sarah realized the forest bore a curse, claiming unsuspecting souls. Determined to release Mark's spirit, they sought a way to break the curse. Using the artifacts and cryptic symbols they found, they pieced together an ancient incantation meant to sever the ties between the forest and its dark power. As night fell, Alex and Sarah gathered the necessary elements and stood within the stone circle. They recited the incantation, their voices blending with the forest's whispers. The ground trembled, and a blinding light enveloped the clearing. The malevolent force resisted, but their determination and love for their friend broke through. Suddenly, the forest was still. The oppressive darkness lifted, and Mark's spirit, now free, thanked them with a final, serene smile before vanishing into the night sky. The curse was broken, and the forest, once a place of despair, began to heal. Alex and Sarah returned to their friends, carrying the hope that Mark's spirit was at peace. The forest's legend lived on, not as a tale of terror, but as a testament to the power of friendship and courage. They vowed to honor Mark's memory by sharing their story, ensuring no one else would fall victim to the cursed woods. Though their hearts would always carry the weight of loss, they found solace in knowing they had done everything to find and free their friend. The forest, now a place of renewal, stood as a reminder of the strength found in unity and the resilience of the human spirit. Years passed, and the legend of the vanishing camper became a story told around campfires, echoing through generations. The once dark and cursed forest transformed into a sanctuary for those seeking peace and reflection. The stone circle, now a place of reverence, stood as a symbol of the friends' courage and the enduring bond they shared. Children played by the lake where the friends had camped, their laughter a stark contrast to the fear that once haunted the woods. The forest had reclaimed its beauty, a testament to the light that can emerge from the darkest of places. And so, the memory of Mark lived on, not as a ghostly whisper, but as a beacon of hope, reminding all who ventured into the woods of the power of love, friendship, and the human spirit's unyielding resolve.